I had that the other day. Didn't you have that once?
Yeah. Wait a second. Is that the one that tasted like rutabaga?
No, it was more like strawberry rhubarb.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll.
All right, everybody, welcome to The Log Room. Folks, this is the very first craft beer podcast for The Log Room. I'm Jersey Johnny, and we are going to get going on today's podcast. With me, as always, the preeminent Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hi, Mr. Samurai.
Hi, Mr. Samurai. No, wait a second. Didn't Peter already use that joke?
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
It's quite all right. Everybody understands. It's fine. We're all trying to make it work here, and we're trying to make it entertaining for you, too. So, not just informative, but entertaining. We want to be infotainers. Infotainers. So,
oh, boy. There's something to aspire to.
Folks, once again, if you're listening to the podcast, then you have been somewhere on one of our social media channels. All of our social media channels are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Logger Room. And our website, of course, is loggerroom.com, LAGERROOM.com. You want to check out every Thursday, there will be a new podcast. Every Wednesday night, there will be a video teaser for said podcast. You're going to want to check all of them out every week. And there's going to be some other special podcasts and maybe just video teasers and emergency podcasts, if you will, depending on if there's something important we need to talk about.
It could be anarchy.
It could be anarchy. It could very well be anarchy. But today we're going to be talking about beer. That's what we're going to be talking about. In fact, most days we're going to be talking about beer. So let's kick it off.
Yeah, you want to pick up where we left off?
I think we should pick up where we left off. Those that have watched the video teaser, you'll know that we're discussing a couple of IPAs. We poured them on the video teaser. If you didn't watch the video teaser and you're actually listening to the podcast, I would suggest go watch the video teaser at your leisure because we're going to catch up right here. It doesn't even matter if you could, but we're funny to look at. I mean, fun to look at. I mean, enjoyable to look at. So.
Well, but then there's also they'll lose how pretty my beer was if they don't.
This is true. Yes, if you want to see how pretty these first beers were, you're going to want to go to that.
Yeah, pretty beer.
So, why don't you tell us about the beer you're drinking there, Mr. Samurai?
So I'm drinking. It's called Safe Space. It is a beer from Concord Craft Brewing Company. I'm sure it's not pronounced Concord up here. I'm sure it's pronounced Concord or something like that.
I'm sure it's Concord. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no R's in there whatsoever. Remember, if you're trying to pronounce place names up here, drop every R, and if there is no R, go ahead and add one. Feel free.
Why not?
But no, it's a 6% New England style IPA, so it's good and hazy. It's got beautiful tangerine color to it, so it also winds up having a nice tangerine flavor to it, with a bit of maybe pine resin, maybe a little sulfur to it, something of bitter in the back, but predominantly you get some nice tangerine right up front.
That is nice. That sounds delicious.
Oh, it's an easy drinker. I'd save you one if this wasn't the last one.
So I guess that's the last one?
Nah, I may have one more hiding in the fridge somewhere.
Might you? That might be interesting.
And you were drinking a Jersey beer, were you not?
I was drinking a Jersey beer. I was drinking a Major Nelson IPA from Spellbound Brewing.
Major Nelson, much better than Major Headache.
Yes. I was wondering if they were actually going to, make a new beer called Lieutenant Healy.
There we go.
But I'm dating myself. Those of you that are younger than 40 or even a little older probably have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because if you're in 40s, you know him. You know Major Nelson from Dallas.
This is true.
Not the character, yes. Mind you, but the actor.
Not the character. The actor, yes. That was
Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman, yes. He was JR.
JR.
Before he was JR, though, he was Major Nelson on I Dream of Jeannie, folks.
So he did not get shot, as far as I remember, on I Dream of Jeannie.
No, he did not. Get shot on I Dream of Jeannie. I think Lieutenant Healy actually did get shot a couple times at that one bar on the base. But that's a different story in and of itself, and we don't even want to go there sometimes.
The Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster Bar. There you go. We got to get back to the
You're
beer.
so you're drinking something from Spellbound. Love
I'm drinking some
Spellbound.
Spellbound. I'm drinking Major Nelson IPA from Spellbound Brewing in beautiful Mount Holly, New Jersey. They've been brewing Major Nelson for a while. In fact, I believe they've been brewing it. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they've been brewing it since almost day one. But back then it was a pale ale. It was Major Nelson Pale Ale. It was a very tasty pale ale, as a matter of fact. But they changed it to an IPA, reformulated it, and is now a hazy New England style IPA. In fact, they don't even call it a New England IPA. They just call it an IPA.
So what do you think is the primary hop in it?
I'm gonna say Cascade. No,
it's not. I don't.
Willamette.
It may not be one of the big one of the 5 C's.
I think it's a hop called Major.
Hop called Major. Okay.
A hop called Major. In fact, I think
Sounds like a great band from the 80s, right?
A hop called Major. There you go. Loaded with Nelson hops, major amounts.
You do know that my youngest daughter's middle name is from that Savine.
There's also Mosaic and Citra in it as well.
That sounds yummy.
It's very, very, very tasty beer. It's a nice, soft, tropical, citrusy hop flavors. A bunch of flaked oats in it. It's got a nice, smooth mouthfeel. They rate it. They have ratings on the side of the can too. I just got to describe these. They have a bar going back and forth, and they have a little like a flash, if you will, marking where it falls into that category. They have a malty to hoppy, and it's closer to hoppy, not all the way to hoppy, but damn close to hoppy. Pale to dark, it's damn close to pale.
Yeah.
And then they have the third level, which is awesome and awesomer, and it's beyond the end of awesomer. So apparently this beer is a hoppy pale ale that's awesomer.
Awesomer.
More than awesomer.
Whereas this one, the can has it's a unicorn Pegasus. I think there's a single portmanteau for that. Is there not? A pegacorn?
I believe there is, yes.
It's pegacorn or something like that. And there's, from the horn, extends a rainbow. And that rainbow then can be seen across the top of the Capitol Dome from Concord, New Hampshire, because, well, it's the capital of New Hampshire. So,
of course.
So it's they say it's an enticing, complex citrusy aroma from liberal dry hopping and late addition hops. I can't argue with that because it says it right on the can.
Their notes are pretty good on the Spellbound can too. I mean, they're pretty well spot on.
But it also says here, life is too short for uninspired beer. Love free or die. So that'll give you an idea what the inspiration is behind this beer.
Not live free or die.
Love free or die.
Free or die.
And I don't know if they were just doing the whole I hit the wrong vowel as I was typing it, that I do all the time. I think that was actually intentional.
It could have been either that or it could have been autocorrect, which always, is a very distinct possibility. So.
Yes.
Autocorrect, schmautocorrect is what I say all the time. I was typing, just a quick aside, I was typing a text one day and I wrote listed, the word listed, Listed. I'm pretty sure this is a normal common word, listed. Autocorrect changed it to lobsters. And the context of the text was, I listed everything for them. So you're telling me I lobstered everything for them? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Beautiful thing. But just remember, Friday's National Lobster Day.
Friday is National Lobster Day. Folks, if you're listening to this podcast tomorrow on Thursday, September 24th, you're going to want to remember to go out on Friday and have a lobster. It's National Lobster Day. Be kind to a lobster. Help a lobster across the street. No, that's not how this is, right?
No. That's not a lobster. That's a list.
No.
That's a listed.
That's a listed. Gotcha. I got my listed and lobster screwed up.
No, I will be on Block Island having a lobster roll at Brennan's. It'd be nice.
Block Island having a lobster roll at Brennan's. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Friday, I will not be on Block Island having a lobster roll at Brennan's.
Should come up.
Just in case anyone was wondering.
I think it's called Brennan's. It's something like that. But we did say in the teaser that I would say where I got this beer from.
Yes. So why don't you tell us where you got that beer from? I'm actually really curious to find out.
It's a place called Ira Miller's General Store. They have themselves a little lunch counter there, and they make some really nice sandwiches. I got to say, they had this. They get their relishes and stuff from Stonewall Kitchens in Wells, Maine.
Really?
Yeah, and they use it in their sandwiches, and man, these things make a difference. That is a blatant plug for Stonewall, even though I don't know any of those people. But their stuff is really, really good. And, it's a typical general store where you can buy general merchandise. There's also some nice, kitschy, crafts, local crafts. But they also carry some local craft beer, which was nice. So I grabbed a 4-pack of this Safe Space. And Safe Place. Did I say it right the first time? Safe Space. And
Safe Space. Yeah, you said it right.
Yep. Set outside at the picnic table out front. There's no parking out front. You got to find parking, along the road somewhere. They don't have a parking lot. But it was really a really nice, quaint stop. One of the coolest things is we saw a truck go by, a pickup truck, pick them up, and it had on the back and both doors said pizza. The best part about it is it's hauling a trailer. The trailer had an oven in it.
Is that right? So
we're trying to figure out, does this have oven will travel and bring you pizza? Is he making pizza on the fly like this? I guess it's only something you see up there. But yeah, but then, stayed in North Conway, New Hampshire. Tried to get to Tuckerman Brewing because they had live music, but the venue was full. They were, they're doing a great job of, the social distancing and keep, limiting the number of people at the venue.
Right.
I actually sat outside and drank a few smug beers outside their area at a picnic table next to a dumpster.
A picnic table next to a dumpster.
That's class right there.
Absolutely. No. I mean, that's nothing beats that. You know why? You know why nothing beats that, right?
Why?
Because when you're done, you can just throw your stuff right away, easy.
Right into the dumpster.
Right in there. Right in the dumpster. Done.
But then
cleanup is easy.
Yeah, effortless. Just toss. Absolutely. And my ability to set basketball, I probably missed anyway. But then on the way back, we went up to Littleton, New Hampshire. So Littleton, New Hampshire is this neat town. They got this covered pedestrian bridge across the Moosanuak River. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly.
Moosanuak. Well, for this particular instance, Moosanuak is correct. How's that?
Let's go with that. And
let's go with Moosanuak.
Schilling Brewing has 2 spaces right on the river. One is an old grist mill. It's a red building with a wheel. The wheel doesn't turn anymore, maybe because the water's not high enough because they're in drought. But next to that is the brewery itself, which is a gray building. They've got a fireplace in there. It's wonderful. I think it's called Pulpy. Their IPA was very good. And I brought back their Schwartz beer.
Very nice.
So that was nice. And it was beautiful up there. It's a great town to walk through. A lot of antique shops, art, little galleries, and like every town in New England, there's a Dunkin'. But then went south and for dinner stopped at Kettlehead. Have you heard of Kettlehead?
I have heard of Kettlehead, as a matter of fact.
Oh, they make some good beer. Actually, I think Pulpy was at Kettlehead. I don't think that was up. That was not Schilling. Pulpy was at Kettlehead. Got their flight there. Brought home their Berliner Weiss called Sprinkles.
Sprinkles, okay.
Yeah, and one of their stouts. It's a dessert stout.
Okay.
You think I'd do my homework before I got on this call? It was Sunday something. But it's
Sunday something.
Sunday something.
That would be actually an awesome name for a beer. Sunday something.
But there's another word in there other than something. So Sunday, insert own word. It was a chocolate and cookie dough stout.
A chocolate cookie dough stout.
Yeah.
That sounds either really delicious or really disgusting.
It was actually quite delicious. They did a wonderful job. I brought back a couple of crowlers of that. So, and they do the food right. I got the duck confit wrap, which was yummy. Duck confit Caesar wrap, and the fries. And they make the fries so salty you just have to keep buying beer.
Really?
They're probably the world's saltiest fries. I don't know how they managed to get so much saltiness onto one shoestring fry. But that was, those were the beery highlights of my weekend. There are other highlights we won't discuss here because it's not germane to our discussion. What was your weekend like?
Well, speaking of germane to the situation, germane really falls into it. Well, German anyway, not germane. My weekend, I We did a little of this, we did a little of that. Sunday is Sunday. Sunday's football. Sunday's football
Sunday's
from
football.
10 o'clock in the morning till midnight.
And both
is
yours
football
and
every
Jess's
Sunday.
teams suck.
Yeah, and well, that would be yours too, but that's besides the point.
Well, your team is my team, and
this is true.
yeah,
This is true. Yes, the bottom dwellers of the NFL are the New York area local NFL teams.
And
there's a couple others. There's a couple others that are dwelling with us in the bottom too.
And the only bright spot on our team is out for the season.
This is correct. Quick aside, all our best to Mr. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, heal up, buddy. We're going to need you next season.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. You're more ready than anybody else. Going forward, heal well, heal quick, get back easy next year. Nobody expected anything this year out of this year, so let everybody else gel this year while you recoup and come back even stronger next year. And let's look at that.
Hopefully,
this is a rebuilding year, and you're one of the pieces that really didn't need the rebuilding. So, if any year for you to if you had to get hurt, this was the year for you to do it. So.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll take less weeks for him to heal than it will many times as Danny turns the ball over.
This is true. Anybody that knows my private posts on Facebook,
turnover machine,
knows that anytime Mr. Jones
coughs up the ball,
relinquishes the ball,
I like that.
Relinquishes the ball. He gets a special posting of presenting Mr. Daniel Jones the turnover machine.
John can't be Facebook Live all the time and can't flash his poo emoji pillow.
I cannot. I have a poo emoji. I have a poo emoji. Actually, a poo emoji prop, which Dave has seen, which you guys have if you looked it up. Yes, I do. So, but one actually has a smiley face on it. The other has a frowny face on it. So there's a happy poo emoji and a sad poo emoji.
Yeah. So anyway, this is not the sports podcast. This is the beer podcast. So I've got a sound effect here. I don't know if you heard that.
I did hear that, and I'm about to give you the same sound effect myself.
So let's get to the Deutschland.
Let's go to Deutschland. And on that note, I know we said it before on the Facebook Live, but Prost.
Prost. And actually, Gene, this is for you because based on one of your comments, I am drinking Oktoberfest by Smug Brewing, and it is indeed a lager.
Gene Lynch. Dave is drinking a lager.
I'm drinking a lager, and there was much rejoicing.
And just so you're aware, too, I am about to open a Farm Fest Marzen from Source Brewing.
Is a Marzen a lager or is that an ale, John?
Dave, a Marzen is a lager.
Lager.
A lager. So we are both drinking, let's say it together, 1, 2, 3, lagers. There you go. We are drinking the first lagers that we have been drinking in the lager room. So there you go. Hold on. Here's my sound effect.
That's such a beautiful sound.
Wasn't that lovely?
That is
And listen to this sound effect.
And there's the gurgle. Is it a good pour?
It is a beautiful pour.
Mine has already lost its head.
Mine is retaining its head quite well, as a matter of fact.
Now mine has lost its head. This one is quite malty. The Munich malts are really the star here. You know, very, very light hop profile to it, as it should be, very appropriate to the style. It's one of those that when you spend so much time in New England drinking IPAs, it's quite refreshing to get your hands on something malty. But then when you drink so many bitter beers, you get something that's malty like this. It seems like overly sweet to you almost.
This is true. Yes. If you're drinking IPAs constantly, one after the other, and not drinking any other styles, and you drink a heavy lager like this, something that's very, very malt forward, it's going to taste too sweet. It's going to taste overly sweet to you without actually being sweet. So.
Well, that's why I've been tossing down cashews to try to cut the bitterness of the IPA I drank before this. Not your best palate cleanser, but
works in a pinch.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. So explain to me, a Oktoberfest is what you're drinking. Is the name of the beer anyway. To me, that states it's similar to a box style of beer as opposed to a regular Marzen, or is it a combination of the two? Why don't you explain it a little bit to me?
I'm not certain that he combined the two. The description of the can does not say anything about it being Bach-like. However, it is a little sweeter than I expect out of a Marzen.
Okay.
So it's possible he did that. I think he went more for the pun. So you know how Baleros North has all their bovine puns.
Sure.
Smug Brewing's logo, like Baleros North is a cow, bull, whatever you want, depending upon the gender they're going for, is for Smug. It is a rooster.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yes, the play on words there being cocky, of course. Smug and cocky being synonyms. But Oktoberfest, like a chicken going bok, 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 I guess.
Gotcha. So it wasn't necessarily a Bach style melded with a Marzen style.
I'm not ruling that out. This has got a sweetness to it that exceeds most Marzens.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was both. Maybe it was a play on words in two ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He may have double entendre squared.
That would be interesting, and not completely unlike him as far as the beers that I've heard of and seen from Smug Brewing.
Yes, Rob has got quite a sense of humor and quite a mastery of the English language, and his stuff is really good. I'm really looking forward to this week's release, which he usually releases on Wednesdays, but according to the his Facebook page, he screwed up, and the releases will actually be tomorrow for the new beer.
Interesting. More on that later, because there's a couple of releases that are coming out this week. One up in Rhode Island by you, one down here in New Jersey by me, and that's going to be the topic of conversation of our next week's podcast. So we'll bounce back to that shortly. I'd like to tell you about this source. This is quite delicious.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Pete does everything delicious, and especially Jeremy brewing this stuff up.
This is really good. It's a solid Marzen. Solid Oktoberfest beer, and it's got
soured. Did you say soured?
Solid. I said solid. Solid.
Solid. Okay.
No,
okay.
It's not a sour. It's not sour. That would be a stretch.
Maybe we've invented a new style here.
Interesting.
Sour Marzen.
Very interesting.
That would be awful.
That would be horrible. That would be. Hey, this beer went bad, but we're gonna salvage it anyway and call it a sour. No.
Yeah.
I said solid. It's a solid.
So it's a solid Marzen.
Solid Marzen. Yes. No. It pours a beautiful amber. Beautiful, lovely shade of amber. It's got a nice, just a slight off-white head. It's not completely white, but it's not quite tan, so it's just slightly off-white. Super smooth. It's really good.
Nice.
Pardon me while I take a sip of it. Toasty, nice and toasty.
See, that's what I'm kind of missing that out of this Smug. There's not that toastiness that I like. You don't get that kind of nutty flavor. That's why I'm saying it's a little more Bach-like.
Gotcha.
In its presence. So
yeah, it's nice toast happening here. Super nice big malt character. Little bit of hops. Just enough to make it, a Marzen. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nice standard noble hops. But it's super smooth. I'm really liking this.
So, well, I'll find out tomorrow. I'll be at Smoke tomorrow and find out if he went Bach-like on this or not, intentionally.
Gotcha. Some tasting notes on this, by the way, from Source directly. They get notes of freshly toasted bread. So do I. Oyster crackers.
Nice. Okay.
I'm getting maybe some. I'm getting biscuits. I don't know about oyster crackers. They're saying oyster crackers.
That's close.
Close enough. They even say grape nut cereal. I'm not sure if I'm getting that, but there's.
When was the last time you had grape nuts?
2,300 years ago.
Okay, so give it to them.
I'll give it to them.
Okay.
But I'm getting a nuttiness, but it's more of a it's not an overwhelming nuttiness. It's like a nice subdued, subtle nuttiness.
That peanut skin nuttiness, or
yeah. I mean, it's nice velvety malt. The toast is really up front. I'm getting a lot of toasted bread and biscuits in this.
Nice.
This is really, really nice.
Now I'm hungry, John.
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting hungry myself. But on that note, Source releases beers every Friday. And we're going to start doing some news articles, if you will, or blogs. Pretty much is what they are, and they'll be available on the website lagerroom.com. And obviously, if you have listened to this podcast, unless you got the link straight through Facebook, you know that lagerroom.com is our web address. But on lagerroom.com, you're going to be able to read some reviews as well of some of the beers that we actually talk about on the podcast. Not that you're not going to get the reviews on the podcast, but you'll get them at both places if you want, as well as some other beers as well. And there's a release that I want to discuss. Let's talk about your release first. You mentioned Smug was having a release this week, and they're doing it. When are they doing it?
Well, actually, so what I want to talk about ties into yours and together because it is, fall. Fall is in the air.
Fall is in the air. That's true. Today is the second day of fall.
From where I'm standing, I see no leaf change, but from where I work a little north of here, and there's a lot of leaf change going on up there.
Interesting.
And when we start getting leaf change, pumpkin beers have already been out for about a month, right?
Pumpkin beers have been out for about 6 months, I think, actually. Pumpkin beers get released right after winter ends, I believe. No, I'm kidding. Now, you start seeing some of them come out ridiculously at the end of July. Most of them come out mid-August. But
the breweries that we're going to talk about are releasing their pumpkin ales now.
Yeah,
so
September or the beginning of fall, that's when they release them. Tomorrow.
That's appropriate. Appropriate. When the pumpkins are actually out in the farm stands.
Exactly.
So tomorrow, Smug is releasing their pumpkin spice latte. So if you remember, in our first teaser, I was drinking a Smug Stout, and it was a collaboration with Borealis Coffee.
Yes.
Out of East Providence. They have collaborated with them yet again. So Borealis is supplying the coffee for this particular beer, and it will be a pumpkin spice coffee stout. And I'm as much as I hate everything pumpkin spice, I'm looking forward to this one because their last venture with Borealis turned out so damn nicely that I'm expecting a lot from this one. So hopefully I'm not holding the bar too high for them.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds delicious, and I definitely hope I get to partake in that at some point. But you will definitely partake in what I am about to go pick up tomorrow. It was released today. They haven't done it in a while. They've only done it a few times, as a matter of fact. The first time they did it was about a month after they opened. Carton Brewing in the Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, announced today. Augie Carton himself announced today on Instagram Live that they are released pumpkin cream beer. It is a high gravity, higher ABV imperial cream ale. It is not your typical pumpkin pie beer per se.
Yeah, most pumpkin pie beers don't have pink peppercorns.
No. It's an imperial cream ale. It's more of a pumpkin soup beer, as Augie refers to it. It's a pumpkin soup beer. It's an imperial cream ale with roasted pumpkin meat, and the pumpkin meat is actually roasted in with ginger, pink peppercorns, and orange oil.
Yes. It's one of three pumpkin beers that I've known them to do.
Yes, yeah. They've made. Let's see, what else did they make? They made Rav,
which was the pumpkin ravioli beer.
Yep. They do the pumpkin spice latte, regular coffee, right?
Basic coffee.
Basic coffee.
Regular coffee is the base for all of that.
It's basic coffee, and it's all of that in there. And then they also did the one with the pumpkin cream ale, but they aged it in Laird Applejack barrels.
That was Scobyville, right?
Was Scobyville, yes.
Yes. So
that was a very interesting and tasty beer itself. But pumpkin cream is back. It was released once again. The first time they actually did it was a small release back in September of 2011, and I happened to be present for one of the sixtels that was tapped of the three that they first brewed of pumpkin cream. And it was, the sixtel. Sixtel, by the way, any of you that are not aware, a sixtel is a sixth of a keg of beer. It's a little over 5 gallons. It kicked in just over 18 minutes. So, yeah, it was well received for certain.
It's about, what, 45 pints? Something like that?
It's about 45 to 48 points.
40 to 45. Yeah, 40, okay.
But they actually, they were 12-ounce pours that day, so it was a little bit more than that. It was close to 60 pours that you were getting out of that. And they were. It was just over 18 minutes it kicked. It was crazy. But the beer was so good. And according to Augie in his Instagram post today, it's even better now. It's even tastier. So
let's save some of this for when you actually have it in front of you.
Yeah, no, we're going to do that. We're going to talk about pumpkin beers next week. We talked about Oktoberfest beers this week,
and I'm sure we will have another beer in the teaser.
And we'll have another beer to talk about in the teaser and then into the podcast as well. Absolutely. That's
a beautiful thing. My liver thanks you.
Absolutely, as does mine.
So the sun has set here at the roof in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, also known as The Bucket.
The Bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The sun has set on your rooftop drinking experience.
It's time for me to get in, get the oven going, and get my my pork roast cooked.
You definitely have to cook your pork roast. If anybody is interested, I will be cooking sauerbraten, which I have already started brining.
Nice.
On Sunday morning and during football Sunday, which again, here lasts from 10 in the morning till midnight. We'll be eating sauerbraten and bratwurst.
Put it in your face.
I will put it in my face.
Nice.
So.
Alrighty.
All right, well, I want to thank everybody for listening to our first craft beer podcast. We have many, 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 many more of these coming at you. Keep track of them. Keep aware of what's going on. Just follow our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our Twitter page, which, again, all three of them are at The Lager Room. And, of course, our website is lagerroom.com, www.lagerroom. That's lagerroom.com. You will have a new podcast every Thursday. We record them on Wednesday nights after the video teaser. And you might have some extra special ones depending on what's going on. We will address issues or interesting points or anything that needs to be addressed that can't wait till the following Wednesday. We just want to get right to it, whether it's a video or not. So you're going to want to pay attention. And there'll be some interesting articles and some stuff that we'll share and post up as well that we've written ourselves. So you want to check all of that out. I want to thank everybody again for listening. Dave, thanks for chiming in with us. You have any parting words for today's first craft beer podcast?
Nothing other than, if you're gonna drink a German beer, make sure you got a good stein to drink it out of.
Yes.
Be it either ceramic or glass. Make sure you're using your proper drinkware for it.
Folks, proper glassware, I can't stress to you proper glassware. It's not just a quote unquote beer geek thing. Proper glassware makes the beer taste better, folks. Seriously.
Yes, it does. So maybe one day we will talk a little bit more about proper glassware.
I think we're going to have a segment on proper glassware.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening to us today. Once again, check out everything going on our website and all of our social media. And once again, Dave, with me, it's Oktoberfest season. Prost.
Prost.
Take care, folks. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye now.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of luck. This